Hey guys, welcome back. Brian here with your real estate market update for February 2025. And we like to focus on three big takeaways. So I'm going to give you a couple things you should know as you're making decisions on what to do next with your real estate choices. Number one, we are writing new rules. We have new administration, new presidency, new everything. And as such, they're creating new things where those new rules are going to have an effect in your real estate. We don't exactly know exactly how much just yet because they haven't all been formed out yet. But I guarantee you there will be applicable rules that will affect how you'll make decisions moving forward in real estate, but we're going to have to wait and see as to what they are. I don't have more news on that yet, but we will give it to you as it comes. That's number one. Number two, fines, crime, and cleanup, oh my. There is a lot of stuff that we are undoing from the last 3 years. Not good, not bad. This is not a political post in any way, shape, or form, but it's just a thing. We've had certain things going on in different cities and areas that are now being, let's say, undone. So before there was maybe an allocation of certain funds going towards fire prevention, crime prevention, city cleanup, etc., and that's been either utilized or underutilized. And now there are new choices and new people saying, well, we're going to do it this way now. And because we're going to do it this way now, it's going to change the demographics of those areas in which those happen. So I'll give you an example. California fires in the news, obviously very devastating, and has had a big impact in real estate in Southern California specifically. People trying to rent properties now in the same areas for which there were fires, and it's increasing the cost of rents. That's an effect in the marketplace for something that happened outside the marketplace. And also, insurance companies are not necessarily wanting to cover the cost of the repairs, not want to cover, maybe make it really hard to cover. I might have heard the lengths that people have to go through to get their money back, and it's insane. But the point is a lot of those insurance companies said, we're no longer covering people in California. We're just not doing it. There's just too much money. And so that is a thing that's outside that is affecting the inside of the real estate. And so more of these will happen. We don't know exactly how much, but we're going to have to keep an eye on those too. Places like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. So there's various cities that have been being run a certain way and may, depending on how they decide to move forward with this new administration, be ran differently. I can see values and prices being affected in those areas differently than they have been previously. So we're going to have to watch that. It may not matter to you, but it is an effect in the real estate market as to things going outside the market. Okay, the last thing, steady as she goes. Okay, I get this question pretty much every day. I don't know a single agent who doesn't. What's going on with the marketplace? When is it going down? When is it going up? It is the single, like, I wish I had a crystal ball mentality that most every buyer and seller ever asks me is like, what's going on? I think it's going to do this. And they, people tell me their opinion. Well, I think it's going to do this because, this, and that. As if they're like trying to like Ouija board a thing together and say, here's the way it should go like this. It doesn't do any of that. Like, we have a certain amount of property inventory, a certain amount of people who want to buy that inventory. As long as those numbers stay consistent, we're going to have the same amount of flow of real estate into the public and out of the public often and on and on and on. I look at these numbers with my team for like years to have these reports we do, and you'll notice it's almost the exact same number every single year. The interest rate for the last 3 years in a row has been 6.8725. It's like the 30-year fixed rate this month of this day for the last 3 years. I can go further than that when there was different president and different this and different that. It doesn't matter. Like it's like always kind of consistently the same. Now if there's a major change, that's going to have a major effect. But until there's a major change, people are getting kind of slowly boiled like a frog, right? If it's not instantaneous, there's no major shift. So we have to like hit an iceberg for something major to happen. The item that people talk about a lot is the mortgage crisis of the 07-08 situation. And I was there for that. It was almost instant. At least that's the way it felt. It may not have been instant, but it really felt instant. It was really fast. And so what happened is it happened all at once and liquidity stopped. You weren't getting money. So that changed how you were spending money. And then they figured it out, and then the market kept going. And that's when the market shifted way up again. So that's how this stuff works. So for now, steady as she goes, you're not going to see a lot of differentiation in this. We'll find new places where real estate is going to come to market from. You're going to see it coming from like inherited properties, bankrupt properties, divorce properties, things like that. That's where it's going to come from. And it's going to go to probably the same people who were buying them before. They're just going to be okay with a slightly higher payment. We might figure different financing out to make the payments lower. So there's going to be stuff that's creative, but ultimately it's going to be a lot of the same. So the news that's going to come at you is going to tell you where things are shaking out, but they may or may not have much effect on you. We'll just have to wait and see. But we'll give it to you monthly and say, here's the new thing, here's the new thing, here's the new thing. And if it affects, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, we won't. But other than that, if you have any questions regarding your real estate or choices you're trying to make, will be the guidance you need to give you an idea of what you should look forward to or don't. Reach out to us. If you got a person you prefer, call them, all good. But otherwise, we'll see you here on the next market update next month. See you then.